Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? Hey, what's up? It's me, LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy, coming at you live again with another video. This is third grade and how I handled everything as life as an introvert. Thank you for coming to my platform. Thank you for coming here. If this is your first time, I know you'll learn something here. Please feel free to share this information along as it is coming to you from me via live experience of my past, and also that I have not talked about this in so long, so this is kind of like my first time rehashing all of this information, so it will be authentic and raw for you as it is to myself. It's kind of like a live self-discovery or rediscovery of everything. Third grade, making friends as an introvert was difficult because as you know via my other videos, this was my third school I went to. So as you know, going to different schools don't help anyways because you're rooting up root. There's no sense of permanency, and if I already had friends, thankfully I didn't, I would have lost all of those anyway. So once again, this is my third school now that I've attended since my small time here on planet Earth. And thankfully, I didn't establish any close friendships at those schools because I would have lost them anyway. So that probably would have hurt way more than the hurt and confusion I already started developing. Third grade, I didn't like my school, and I really didn't like my teacher. This was also when I learned something else I wasn't ready for at that stupid school. I learned what racism and or prejudice was. I found out that my third grade teacher was a racist via my mom, via like other parents who may have had that lady before, and word got around, at least in the black community, that she didn't care for black people too much. I really didn't know what that meant still, but I just knew it meant stay away. She was danger, but I mean, how could I stay away from a racist teacher if she's my teacher? I'm going to be with her all day, every day. And once again, it's like, why do I seem to get the teachers who have some type of issue, or why do I seem to get the classrooms that are filled with the worst kids? It made me feel like I was being punished. I'm like, how come I didn't get the class next door where everybody had all the fun and all the cool kids were, and the classroom seemed more joyful, warm, and inviting. It's like, why did I get this stupid class? It's boring. She didn't decorate. It was dry. By this time, I knew exactly what white people were, and they were boring. But I'm not saying that like I didn't want to be around them, but boring to me because what they talked about I couldn't relate to. So I shouldn't say boring. There just wasn't any interest there. Basically, if I had the option to choose a white Barbie doll or a black Barbie doll, I would have picked black, but the store only had white. So it was like that. At this time, I learned what God brother and God sister meant too. I went to school with the same school and the same grade with my God brother. I thought, I don't know, my parents, I don't know, they're weird. Anyways, they were my God brother, so we didn't have the same class, thankfully. I kind of would have been ticked off because it's like I kind of want to learn things on my own. Or be in an environment on my own. I didn't like that everywhere I went, well, at least in preschool and kindergarten and first grade, there was always somebody there that my mama already knew. So it was like, I didn't feel like that was a safety net. I felt like I was being spied on, even though I had no intentions on being bad. I'm quite sure they were reporting on me. I don't know if that was paranoia or just intuition. But thankfully, my godbrother, we didn't have the same class, but we walked to school every morning, and I didn't care for that too much. But at least it was better than my mom walking me to school. I didn't have any type of freedom or sense of privacy. They, mother hen, father hen. But getting back to me in my third grade classroom, it was boring. It wasn't decorated. Oh, and we sat in groups again. I didn't like that too much, But I come to find out though, as in third grade, that I liked hanging around boys way more than girls. So in third grade, that's when I developed that notion, a strong notion within me, assumed by myself and cultivated by myself, that boys were more fun, even though they're kind of gross in the stuff they talked about and how they kind of carried and conducted themselves. They were kind of gross, but I took the grossness overrode everything else about the girls. The girls were boring. They didn't talk about anything, or they talked about boys all day, or stuff I just couldn't relate to, because one, we couldn't watch TV at home. Two, if we watched TV at home, it wasn't about anything that the kids were talking about at school anyways. Or three, they talked about going over one another's houses, and we couldn't have company at our house, so I felt isolated, and I don't know what number I'm on. The other point why I prefer not to hang with the girls, I didn't get their world. Get their world meaning the white girls. Their world was so different from black girls. I learned that so drastically, and unfortunately, I was blindsided by the unfortunateness is that a word? The sadness, the sad reality that white girls' worlds were different from ours. At least they were then growing up. And the girls that were in my class, they just were a little too aggressive to me. A little too assertive, a little too strong, a little too wild, a little too rude. And I really didn't want to be around that neither. Their hair was different from mine. I learned what a relaxer was too, or a perm, but I think that was more or less in 4th grade. So there were just too many differences, and it was too overwhelming. And I found that the boys were much easier. I even enjoyed listening to them talk. I did talk to them amongst them, because at this time in 3rd grade, I believe I sat at a table, I was assigned a table with more boys than girls. So it was a relief, because at least the boys would just talk to themselves and not really bother me. And it was like the boys knew not to really mess with me like that, only ask me questions at decent times, or they just respected me. But I didn't feel the energy like, oh, I'm not talking to her because she don't talk to me. I didn't feel that energy. So it actually felt peaceful sitting at the table. So I never dreaded that part. I never felt uneasy when I had to sit at my desk every day, every morning in 3rd grade. So thankfully, even if our teacher was allegedly prejudiced, that was less I had to go to school and worry about. Honestly, I don't think she was prejudiced. I didn't see it. I just thought she was a really mean, stern woman. I couldn't tell racism or anything. That's my opinion. But having that stigma didn't help. It just added to my nerves being rattled, because if that's what everyone's saying, everyone like the adult people in my world, the alleged authority figures saying something like that, it just kind of made me weary. And I will watch out for signs of whatever racism was. But all in all, she just was a mean, stern lady. But I honestly would have preferred the other 3rd grade teacher next door, because I could tell right off the bat she was really universally friendly. And she cared about what she did. Oh man, I don't know why I didn't get her class. I think I would have learned more. I would have been focusing on everything else. Because in 3rd grade, I didn't focus on anything. It was just hard to focus, because I was still stuck on why I wasn't in the other class the whole year. Why was I in the class with bad kids? And and it would make sense, because what I mean by what it would make sense is, I would have, as a principal, I probably would have unfortunately assigned all the kids who had a bad record or just were bad to the more stern teacher. But by this time you were in third grade, students should already have a record on them to know whether or not the kids got some type of anger management, short attention span, or just, downright rude and obnoxious. There's differences. So once again, I'm like, why would they put me in this class? Because I'm a good student. My reward should be in the class next door, where all the other good students are doing really good projects. I mean, they did like projects every week. Oh my gosh, they did projects every week. And the class just seemed more orderly. The energy was happier, more freer, more clear. And like I said, they learned more. So that bothered me a lot. This is just coming from my point of view. I highly doubt if anybody from my school will ever make a YouTube video about their experience. But it would be nice if they did, because I would like to see how they viewed their elementary years through their eyes. And heck, how they even view me, because the more information I know about myself, the better. It'll be cool. And then that's more to just kind of internalize and just tell my kids. It's just more about me. Yay! Oh boy, show. Third grade, making friends, I didn't have any. But by then, I realized that I was just a nice person anyway. So, I mean, I talked to them when they talked to me. It was rarely where I actually interjected and started the conversation. Most of the times, the teacher would call on me, or the student or the kid in the class would talk to me first, start something, from what I can remember. And it would go on like that. And quite frankly, that's how I preferred it. I like just being to myself, doing my work. I did like the guys though at the table. Man, they were so nice. But since they were guys, I knew in my head we weren't going to be friends, but I would have liked to. But I just could tell that wasn't going to work out like that. Like how girls are friends with girls and guys are friends with guys. I just didn't see me being, having a friend as a boy. Not a boyfriend dating, but I didn't see that. But I wanted that. It just seemed more fun to, the guys were just more fun at my table in general. They're more relaxed and laid back. And they seemed a little more caring and understanding. I don't know if they liked me like that or not. At that time, those type of social cues I wasn't picking up of whether a guy liked me or not. Let's see here. And I'm going back a little bit. In what was it? Kindergarten, I realized someone liked me only because someone told me. I thought that was cool, but at the same time it made me feel uneasy. Simply because after I found out he liked me, I'm like, okay, cool. We started to play together and we had a lot of fun. But the girl who told me that the boy liked me got mad at me because he was playing with me and not her, and she liked him. And I'm like, this is a bunch of BS. So at the end of my story, when me and the boy were playing by the monkey bars, it was cool. I was trying my best to climb up to the top part. I think I did. That was so fun. The girl came over and was just acting stupid or whatever. I don't know what she did, but I was blind. She probably kissed him or something. Something fast. I can say that. Something fast, because he immediately stopped talking to me. She probably said some type of rumor. Who knows? But it was just like that. He wouldn't talk to me anymore. He wouldn't look at me anymore. He even started treating me like I stole something from his mother. And I thought that was weird. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. Life as a third grader was boring, but at least I knew boys were nicer than girls.